Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump back into our Call of Cthulhu campaign to put away childish things. In our last session, or maybe we might be rewinding a little bit back past the last session, but we went to the
In part
library.
one, in chapter one.
Yeah. We had been at the library. We found out a bunch of information about Melvin Walcott, the man who has disappeared, and we are trying to find information. Driver was reticent to tell his story, but we worked on him a little bit and said he never saw the guy. Rudolph, he hit Rudolph is the note that I have, the dead
Yes,
guy, which was
Rudolf
the guy who
Spoonheimer.
disappeared from the hospital. That's a whole other thing. He says swears he saw a dark-haired woman grab Alice. So there's that. Let's see. So I have a note here that says body had been missing for a while, recently dead. Could be used for nefarious purposes. No soul. I think that maybe was an occult roll that somebody made. We did find out that the doorman Leo was cremated. And let's see. On the morning of the 7th, we went to the hospital. Kenneth Butterfield was on duty. He might have been the ME who, I don't know who the hell we were investigating there. Said it was a heart attack, but he's lying.
I'm gonna throw something back out. The doorman was cremated, but what did his autopsy show?
Oh, that's it. This is
the insect cocoon thingamabobble.
Yeah. He was asphyxiated, and again, reticent to describe what he had seen, but eventually said that there was a caterpillar silk lodged in his throat. So we went to go speak with Maureen Donovan. She was a naturalist over at the, I guess it was at the museum, right? This doesn't matter.
And you know, like everybody.
You're right.
Yeah, you apparently know everyone.
She said that she saved half of it to inspect it later, but in the morning it was gone. It evaporated. Let's see. James Walcott's, Melvin's father, was not around and died in the Northwest. Mom committed suicide. Let's see. His mother, Helen Pomeroy Walcott, the Pomeroy family was, I guess, multiple people had committed suicide. New Year's Eve, 1900 weekend. There was a group suicide. It's the most haunted house in Kingsport. The family, there's talk of the family being cursed, that they worship the dark god. Insanity was rampant within the family. And we got the name of the polio hospital in Kingsport, which is now closed, and also the Hillside Adoption Consortium, which is where Melvin was housed, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
And as horrible as that sounds, that's actually period accurate. I looked it up. There were orphanages called adoption consortiums. So
yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We were last session.
You also found out his the money he got to go to New York was from his paternal grandfather.
Right.
Who had left him some money and property that would go to him when he turned 21.
And that's what they used to buy the apartment thingy that they bought, right?
Right. That was their seed money for chasing their dreams in Manhattan.
I know that we learned about the money. Did we learn? Does he still have that property, or did he sell it off?
No, it's the apartment that they got in New York, right?
No. This is the first time I've heard about property.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we knew about we know about money.
Well, they had money, and that was how they rented their first apartment, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But
Did,
wait,
But Oscar just
property.
said property.
oh, did
The
somebody
house?
slip and I missed it?
Does he
Okay.
own the house?
I think he might be going to a house.
When you recheck the records, it did say cash and property.
There you go.
Well,
So he may, if there is any property he owns in Kingsport,
Mhm.
which is
he
suggested,
might own property there.
you're gonna
Yeah,
have to chase that down there. There were no
I mean,
records in
that's-
New York about it.
Well,
that's
Yeah.
separate from what we'd heard. But yeah, that's a very good point.
So, out of game question, because I've played this character in
Kingsport.
Kingsport.
You've been to the Pomeroy house.
I've been to the house, so I would most likely have made this connection if I had the best memory on earth, even though we know I don't. But I would have
The thing
kind
is
of
that
You probably remember the most
property he
haunted
owns
house.
is not on the Pomeroy side. He's related to the Pomeroys on his mother's side. The grandfather that left him cash and
Oh.
property is his paternal grandfather.
Mhm.
It's
Okay,
the
so this is a different
non-cursed
house.
side of the family.
got it. Okay,
The
cool. I wanted to make
non-cursed
sure.
side of the family. Only in Arkham Country.
Hey, there are two branches of the Whately clan in Dunwich.
Yeah. I am not denying that. It's just such an Arkham Country thing.
Look, if I'm gonna write in this setting, I'm gonna live in this setting.
Well, yeah.
You don't go to Oktoberfest and not order a beer
You go
or
to
a
the site?
pretzel. How about that?
Is this better for my mic?
That would
Yeah,
work
if you go
fine
just
either
a
way.
little bit more.
How about this?
Okay, yeah, that's good. You're blowing me out here.
Okay. Tell me if it goes wonky again.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yep, cool.
Okay, so are you going to all jump on the train to Boston and then the bus over to Kingsport? Are you going to drive? Like, how are you making the trip from Manhattan to Kingsport?
I think train and bus would probably be
Yeah,
the
really.
easiest way,
Yeah.
I don't drive.
I mean,
so-
we live in New York. Who owns cars?
right?
Okay,
I know
so
people who do, but
Plus,
me
I know-
too.
yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Plus, I mean, I know what was the range of a car in 1920.
that would be a long drive from New York
Right.
to Boston.
Yeah.
It's a long drive
Yep.
now. It would
Right,
be a
exactly.
much- it'd be
Especially
a real long drive
in a
then.
car that maxes out at like 20 miles an hour.
Right. With I think solid rubber tires.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
so
painful.
you're all getting on the train. You've had you can take the red eye and get into Boston around dawn, and then probably get into Kingsport, around 11 or 12, and have half a day to settle in. Or you can leave in the morning and then get out to Boston in the late afternoon and not into Kingsport until the evening.
So I would imagine it's probably they have sleeper cars at that point, right? I mean, it's as common as train travel is. So whatever whatever everybody wants to do, like I think Harry would be fine with that. Like, this is what we're doing, right? So if we could sleep on the way, it just saves us some time.
Okay,
Yeah.
you get into a sleeper car. You guys have been really hitting the pavement hard for 2 days. And on Harry's suggestion, I think we should sleep now while we can, because by the time we get out there, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get all aboard. You board. You've got, newspapers. You've got, candy bars. Your Baby Ruth bars and Hershey, which I think are period. And you head out and quickly, especially actually all of you as investigators know, sleep like soldiers, sleep when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all quickly fall asleep. And then
Oh no!
I had a strange feeling.
The radio turns on in your sleeper car.
Like by itself?
Yes.
Mm.
And it is a current local hit. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up.
Are you on the YouTubes?
Just wanted to make sure that it's period.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Should we just sing the lyrics? Do karaoke?
It's a song by Marion Hayes that's
Mhm.
very popular, and it's called "I'll See You in My Dreams."
Hmm.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so as that's playing and you're all woken up, there's someone. You kind of are in the upward bunk, the upper bunks of the sleeper car.
Mhm.
It turns on, and you see sitting next to the radio, in a padded chair, is a willowy, pale woman with very dark hair, long dress, barefoot, and the entire room smells of lilac.
Oh no, thank you.
So, like, I think the initial thing is like, "Hey, turn that radio down. It's the middle of the night."
And she says, "Silly boy, it's later than you think."
Did you
Later.
like,
Ma'am?
rolls over and like pulls the curtain over, and then I guess sees what you described and like jumps like, "What the fuck?"
All right, I need everyone to make a sand check.
Yeah.
I pass.
Let's see. It's gonna fail me first.
I do not pass.
Okay, anyone who fails takes 1 sand point.
I got a super success. 3.
Nice.
As you quickly realize that the sleeper car you're in is now twice the size as the one you had entered, and the room she's in is almost like a lounge. Like this is almost like a like one of those luxury suites that takes up like half the car.
Mhm.
And you still see the scenery going by in the darkness as you're leaving Manhattan. And she says, "We should have a word. I've put on a pot of tea." Don't be
Loretta,
shy. You've
ma'am?
worked so hard to
Loretta?
find me.
I start pinching myself to see if I'm actually awake.
I'm sorry, Loretta, Lynette,
Lynette. Oh,
Lynette.
you are good. You've come that far. Too far.
Sorry?
I want to know why you're looking for him.
There's people want to make sure he's okay.
He's safer with me than anyone on this world.
They didn't say anything about bringing him back, just making sure he was okay.
He's fine. So I suggest you leave him in my capable hands. I didn't come all this way to have you for meddling in things.
Oh yes, but you see, people you've been around have gotten hurt really bad. So we just kind of want to make sure that he's not gonna end up the same way.
Well,
So we just want to check up on him.
I haven't killed anyone.
No, but you've come really close. And actually, you did. There's one guy.
Oh, the one who laid hands on me.
Yeah.
He had it coming.
Well, who are you anyway? What is this all about? How could you even be here right now? We were on a train.
You're
We
still on a
still
train.
are. Pretty sure we still are.
But this
Yeah.
this isn't the room that this isn't the sleeper car. I mean, look around.
She
Your
smiles
point?
and says, maybe you should look around. And I need everybody to make a sand check.
God damn it!
It's Cthulhu, John.
I got an 04. 03.
Yay! Keep holding on to those, please. Thank you.
19. I'm getting used to this.
Okay.
I came very close to failing as much as you can fail.
As you look out the window, when she says, maybe you should take a look around, you're no longer on a train. You're on some sort of a long river barge. And you see like the countryside moving by on the barge.
So as I'm pinching myself, am I feeling anything?
You
I've
do
been pinching
feel
myself this whole
pain.
time. Okay, so in my head, I am awake.
Yes. She says that
Because this just
you're
doesn't
probably
seem-
wondering how I know that you were after him.
Well, I figure you have your ways.
Yeah, the ways he gave me.
Melville?
My master has always tasked me with protecting him.
And who
I
are
can
your
detect
masters?
any threat to him, and I detected you 4.
We're
And
not
who are
trying
your
to be a
masters?
threat to him.
But you're looking for him when you have no business to look for him.
On the contrary, this is exactly my business. This is what I do. I'm a private detective.
You get paid to meddle.
I get paid to investigate.
Who are your masters that are told you to protect him in the first place?
More than told me. He says, I'm more than his protector. I am his defender. I am his lover. I am his betrothed. I am everything to him, and he is everything to me. I am the High Lady of Johannesland, and I am come to bring my king home.
Johannesland?
Can I
Does
roll
that
for a cult?
ring a bell?
Go for it.
Would it be Mythos or
Try Mythos.
But I can do regular cult, correct?
Sure.
Yeah. A 15 out of 80.
Nice.
nope.
I'm totally at sea trying to think that's not near Yanith Lay. That's surely not near Yanith Lay.
She says, this is a courtesy. It gets ugly from here.
Is there any way we could see for ourselves what's going on and then work out with you what to tell the people who sent us?
Tell them that he's gone home, that he's happy, because I'm taking him home, and we will be happy.
But how are we in your way? And how are we stopping you by looking for him to just check to make sure he's okay? How are we interfering with you in any way?
You're part of a life that isn't real. He needs to face the truth.
But
So
I
did
think
he just?
He'll be happy with me.
So I'm not denying that. All I'm saying is by us going to see him to make sure he's okay, how does that interfere with you at all?
Can we do it without interfering with you?
I've worked very hard to get him to where he is now. You're going to try to undo that.
If you've been following us, if you have known our intentions all along, then you would know that we were not hired to do that. We were hired to make sure he was okay.
Well, then your job is done. Trust me, he's okay. I could never harm him.
So does
oh,
does this have to do with this Pomeroy business? Is that what this is all about?
She seems confused and says, "Those are his mother's people."
Yeah, but there's something not quite right about them.
I wouldn't know. He never spoke about them.
So they don't figure into this picture at all then?
She smiles and she says, "Oh, you're good. You're trying to get me to give you information."
I mean,
Well,
it's just
also-
it's weird that you would be so close to him and yet not look into like his family, especially something that's
that side of the family.
Because none of
Right.
that is real. None of that matters.
Wait, what do you mean? I mean, people die. Like it's real.
Is it?
She says, I didn't come here to debate. I came here as a courtesy to make your life and my life easier. Go home.
I appreciate that, ma'am.
She says, if you push me, I will destroy you.
but we're not pushing you. We are going to see if someone's okay. We're not interfering. We're not doing anything to stop.
And trust
you
me,
doing
I
what
wouldn't.
you're
I
doing.
wouldn't put
She
hands
holds-
on you. I
she-
saw
she
what you
holds
did
out-
to the last guy that you
raises
pushed,
a
so.
hand, and all four of you are bound like hand and foot in silken threads. Boom.
Hey, I don't know you that well.
Sand check.
Oh, I succeeded on this one.
Oddly, I succeeded.
Succeed.
I failed.
Oscar, I failed. I failed the second one. Should something of
Yeah,
Should I have-
I'll
Yeah.
3 points.
okay? Yay!
For this one, 3 points.
I'll tell you in a minute. So she says, with your sweet words and your flawed logic, you're going to try and meddle, and I'm going to have to destroy you. I'm giving you the chance to turn aside and let things play out as they were always meant to. I have come too far and sacrificed too much to have you ruin it now. You may think that you can stop me, and maybe you can in this place and in this body, but I'll only find another, and I'll return more determined than before. Only that time, I won't just be trying to hurt you. I'll seek out the ones you love and hurt them as well. Do I make myself clear, children?
Crystal.
Okay, at that point, she puts a hand towards the wall, and it just shatters outward, leaving this huge gaping hole. And now you're on a ship at sea. She forms a pair of huge gossamer butterfly wings, appears from behind her gown, and she flies off into the night. And you all are suddenly awoken as the train is pulling into Boston Station.
Oh, I kind of like the ship.
So I think it's one of those things where you just startle awake, you just hear a couple people,
Yeah.
and then the whistle blow and the as the wheels squeal, and Harry pulls the curtain back and he goes, Did you guys have any weird dreams?
Yes.
Yeah.
From that biatch? Yeah.
And you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Yes.
All right, so it wasn't just me then.
Can I do a spot hidden to see if there was anything in our room?
Go ahead. You don't find anything,
Oh, sorry.
including a radio.
Well, I didn't think
Wow.
so.
No markings, nothing at all.
No.
I mean, it was nice of her.
So Viv, I know this is kind of your purview and all, but you don't happen to know any of those spells, do you? It's not something we ever discussed before.
No. And because I did roll a 15 out of 80 on occult when she mentioned something along the family lines, did I get any additional information from that?
No.
Fuck. Okay.
So you're thinking this may have nothing to do with his connection to the Pomeroy family,
Yeah.
So,
other than he's related to them and whatever predisposition they may have, he may have as well.
Fey
No, but
touched or
I
whatever.
don't know any of that. Is that
But-
possible? I don't know.
we can look into the Pomeroy family. I mean, I doubt that's going to get in her way.
Well, and if he has property up here too, we can, try to find the records on that. The deed, see if his place is still standing. I mean, that's got to
Yeah.
be where he went, right? I mean,
So here's the thing. I don't think anything that we planned on doing essentially could get in her way. I don't think the orphanage that he would be there, correct?
He's not going to be at the orphanage. He's not going to be in his property.
well, but here's the thing: it doesn't matter what
So are
we're
you
doing.
having this conversation as you're exiting the train and grabbing your bags and trying to get a bus ticket to Kingsport?
Sure.
Yeah,
Probably.
pretty much. We're shop talking as we're walking. Yeah.
Everybody make
Yeah.
a luck roll.
92.
Ooh, 22 under 35.
I failed.
All right, let me check what mine is. Where is
No,
it?
I passed. I'm sorry. 57 out of 62.
Oh yeah, 36 out of 75. Okay.
As the ones who make the successful story, the successful luck roll, you hear a newspaper boy at Boston Station, and he's crying out of the, top story: mysterious house fire claims the wife of devoted wife and invalid husband.
Yeah, let me have one of those papers. there,
Police
kid.
have no.
Yeah.
He
and,
flips
toss
him a
him-
nickel.
toss
or
him a
whatever it
nickel.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, you grab the paper. And it's I'm sorry I didn't write a handout. I was trying
That's
to
okay.
just survive the week. You read the story, and it's a story about Laura and Peter Van Brandt. Peter was under long-term care at home by his devoted wife when the house was suddenly consumed by fire. Police have investigated the scene as possible arson. After witnesses claim they saw a woman fleeing the scene, but the fire department has ruled the fire an accident.
Is it in that house? That haunted house?
No, this is in Boston.
Huh.
This is
Survivors?
you're not even at Kingsport yet.
Are there survivors?
Why is there a fire in Boston that's interesting to us? I'm a little confused.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like a strange circumstance that that this would happen to just like catch our attention. Maybe it's something that we should take part of the day to check out before we head up.
As you read the story closer, Peter Van Brandt was a long-term he was in a coma.
Looks like our friend there needed
Being
a
cared
little
for by his
an
wife at
host.
home.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. So on the one hand, she does need to borrow a certain type of body. On the other hand, she can always find that type of body.
Well, she can always make that type of body.
Same difference.
Yeah. Well, so much for her never harming
You read in
anybody.
the story that he had a gunshot wound to the head. He's a grocer, an innocent bystander during a mob hit in his establishment.
How long's he been in the coma?
3 years.
Yeah, I don't think she'd count him. But the woman who was taking care of him died too, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're both dead.
They're both okay. Good.
I mean, it is possible she intended that as a warning too, or it's possible she doesn't consider any of this, I sort of gesture around me, real.
Well, she said as
Um,
much.
You do find the name of the witness who claimed to have seen the woman fleeing, and he was a young neighbor named Tommy Gibson.
She did mention. Does anyone remember her mentioning something about how none of this was real?
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
And
Lots.
that she mentioned something about in her body, or the body she had, and that she needed to come. So I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're all connecting the same dots I'm connecting right now? Without actually saying it out loud, because there's people around us?
Well, so yeah, I mean, if you're saying what I think you're saying is that she's inhabiting that body, like that body's not real either.
Well, the body's real.
Well,
oh,
yeah,
you mean
yeah.
that body? No,
So-
that body might not be. That's true.
I mean, it's the one that she's controlling, right? Or the one that she was given by her masters to keep an eye on Melvin. Because she said maybe we could defeat her in this form. So the form itself has got to be human, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, any other form walking around the city is going to kind of draw a little bit of attention.
So my thing is not necessarily the form that my concern is the form that Melvin is currently in, and that may no longer be needed to be in that form, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're thinking Melvin might be not exactly of this material plane.
On his father's side.
No.
Possibly.
No, I mean, this is important. What? What?
That was great.
I just find it very odd that both the husband and the wife died. And after the comments that she made to us, the threats she made to us.
Yeah, but here's the
Got a
thing.
little bit of a point there.
If she's some kind of spirit creature or something from another plane of existence or some other world, then we don't matter to her so much. So if she kills 1 people or 10 people, I don't think she or it really cares or considers.
I'm concerned for his safety.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if he's exactly what she says, if he's someone who can be made into what she says, whether he wants it or not, but could also not be made into what she said and could have a normal life, or whether she's an insane spirit or whatever. And either way, she's already drawn her line in the sand.
That's true, yes.
I mean, I don't want to get in the way of something that we shouldn't be, but she's not letting us see, and I'd kind of like to take her word for it and just go home, but I can't just take her word for it.
I understand. It's just something that popped into my head out of nowhere, and I just wanted to make sure that other people were aware. That's all.
I think we're all on the same page here, which is actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
All right. What's your next step? You're spending a lot of time in the train station.
Oh, that's right.
People are parting around us as we're just kind of like all grouped together.
Well, in theory, we're supposed to hop right on a train to Kingsport. The question is, do we want to... A bus.
Yeah.
The question is, do we want to delay to check what we know in Boston?
Well, I mean, if we put the dots together, and the guy was in a coma, so we assume that maybe she's using that body for some nefarious purposes.
Like talking to us.
It could have been, but she was in the dark-haired form during our dreams, so
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but remember that bus driver saw her in the dark-haired form when she was in that other guy's body.
oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, I think that was either something she did as a courtesy to us or something she had to do to talk to us. Oh my God. That means that when she went to see Melville in his building, she was in that other guy's form and everybody saw her in her form. And I think I'm going to sit down for a minute, just a minute. Can I borrow your flask?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he passes the flask. He lights a cigarette. He lights a cigarette for you.
Yeah, she's going to take a good long sip and then trade it for the cigarette.
Hey, look, maybe we should maybe we should go get a cup of coffee and a bagel, or whatever. Like, just sit for a couple minutes and see when the next bus is, and try to collect ourselves here a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
find a quick diner not too far from the station, and sit down for breakfast. Local people are talking about the mysterious fire. It seems to be the story of the day. A lot of people are saying that maybe it was a mob hit because he was wounded by the mob. Maybe they wanted to silence him, and somebody said the man was in a coma. I think he was as quiet as he's gonna get. So the usual chatter of people at the diner in the morning.
I'd like to make a spot to see if anybody stands out. Does anybody seem to be paying us any undue attention?
Roll spot.
All right, I would love to.
That's the plan.
60 under 65.
No one seems to be paying you any undue attention.
Okay. I mean, we have no idea what the guy looks like, but yeah, to see if she's watching us, and
Understood.
hear about her deeds.
I mean, honestly, even if he came out of his coma, the mob would at least wait and see if he remembered or pretended to not remember or didn't not remember before doing anything. They're businessmen.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think this has got anything to do with the mob. I mean,
No.
this is all her doing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: if Viv can't cast any spells, is there some way we could like how do we protect ourselves against, like, she came after us while we were sleeping, so maybe that gave her an advantage, but Leo certainly died. And,
Well, what's that place she said she was from?
it was something like
Jill.
Johanneslin or something. Does that ring a bell to anybody?
Nothing came up for me.
It should.
I asked. I rolled a cold on it.
Check your notes.
Is that the polio hospital? Johanneslin and something?
Hold on.
Johanneslin and Miles? I think that's what that says.
It's Johansson and Miles.
Oh, Johansson. Okay, so that's a different thing.
But it is a very similar name.
Oh, is that the clue? Is that where you're pointing us?
I'm not doing nothing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the question is, are you going to linger in Boston to look into the mysterious fire, or are you just going to get on the bus and head over to Kingsport?
I don't know. So what do you think? I mean, is there anything to be gleaned from this? I mean, if we're going to assume that she took the body to do something,
Then it's none of our business.
Okay,
Well,
so if she was looking at us to see if we're going to go back or not, at the very least, she'd understand if we spent the night and got back on the train. So I don't think we're more at risk investigating here. The question is whether we'd be wasting time. And I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, every hour he gets further away, or at least it gives her more time to do whatever it
Whatever.
is that she's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what we do. If we don't turn around and hightail it back right now, then she's going to assume that we're still
Exactly.
coming, and she's going to come
Exactly.
after us, right? I mean, that's the. It doesn't matter if we go to the polio hospital, the adoption agency, or whatever. She's going to see it all the same.
Mm. I don't see a reason to stay here.
All right, so you're gonna head over.
To Kingsport?
How do you all feel about that?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, you get on the
Yep.
bus. You arrive in Kingsport mid-afternoon. I want everyone to roll a luck roll. I'm going to
two.
need hard. Wow, I was about to say hard or extreme.
61.
14.
I got half. I got hard.
All right, Millie,
Yeah.
give me roll a 10. Tell me if it's over 5 or under 5.
Sure. Under 5.
Okay, under 5. Roll. Give me the sum of 2 percentile dice.
You mean roll them and add the 10s and the 1s?
No, yeah, roll them. If it's like 53 and 21, give me that number.
Oh, okay. 12 plus 7 is 19.
You rolled a 1, 2,
I rolled
and
a
07?
12 and I don't. Yes. I don't know what's going on with my dice.
Okay, so that's give me a random letter.
K.
All right. Okay, so you actually know a Harold Kleeman who lives in Kingsport, and apparently he with an O2. Shit, he owns a rooming house. So when you show up uninvited, he rolls out the red carpet and gives you 2 large corner rooms. He says, nobody's here. It's the off season. Nobody comes to Kingsport in March, but I'm happy to see
That's
that
true.
you're here. It's like a bed and breakfast place right on the water. So it's like these luxury rooms. And he says, you get some people at Christmas. It's nothing like Christmas in Kingsport. But
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
But this time of the year, let me play host to you and your friends. So you're basically 2 rooms, double beds. So you guys have like almost the whole second floor of this 3-floor rooming house on the bay. He puts
Thanks.
fires on them. Him and his wife make soup and sandwiches, and they cut slices of pie. They're happy to have some guests and company, and they're charging you. Harold Kleeman. They're basically charging you like $1 a day.
Wow.
And these were like meals and board in this place would usually,
Wow.
like in the prime season, it would be twice that, 3 times that.
Oh, at least, yeah.
But it's the off season, and you rolled an 02, so if it hadn't been for you giving the Heimlich maneuver, his 3-year-old would have died because you were the
Probably.
nurse. You were the nurse in the restaurant who just happened to be there. With
Yeah,
an 02.
probably.
So he's happy to give you a base of operation for your stay in Kingsport.
So I assume we probably schmoozed that night then, and oh, this place is lovely. Oh, dinner's great. Oh, this is the best pie I've ever had. Like, all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, we super appreciate you letting us stay here, and
Yeah.
all that kind of
He
stuff.
says, no problem at all. We don't have any. We probably won't have any bookings until Easter.
Is anything exciting ever happen up this way? Anything crazy out of the ordinary?
Kingsport? Not really. People come here to get away from crazy and unexpected. It's a sleepy kind of place. It's people come. They in the off season, the only people who come here are artists and writers looking to escape and connect with their imaginations.
Mm.
There's definitely one hell of a view.
Oh, you should see it when the sun is shining. Right now in Kingsport, it's been gray for like a week, and it's just raw and cold. Like winter is not letting go in Kingsport right now. So lots of freezing rain and hail and icy streets. So it's almost as if the town is almost like on lockdown. Like everyone's inside. There's smoke coming from chimneys. The windows are all frosted with steam. And in the late afternoon, the mist comes in off the sea, and they don't call it the city in the mists for nothing.
True that.
All right, so if you want to unwind and just hit tomorrow fresh, they are more than happy to let you guys take naps after lunch. Enjoy the reading room and the library. There's a large local cat that is by the fire, and they say he's not even our cat. He comes 2 or 3 times a week and usually stays a day or two. But that's okay.
Oh God, Millicent remembers Kingsport. There was this plant business.
Oh, Volthum, the God King of Mars. I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Golden Age Master Scott David Anielowski on that. Okay, so yeah, you enjoy the rest of the night, the afternoon and the evening in Kingsport by the fire. They make a Yankee pot roast for dinner, so everybody's like well fed, really warm, warm, comfortable beds. Like these are romantic getaway suites, like for seaside people looking for getaway weekends. So they're very, very comfortable.
Millie's feeling sufficiently weirded out by the thing on the train that she's going to have like 2 cups of tea out on her night table just as she gets a visitor.
No problem. All right.
Worst case, I'll drink them in the morning.
Well, so before we turn in, then as
I was
we're
going to talk
kind
about
of sitting around, Harry says, look, I think maybe
We're gonna say his wife's name is Rose,
Rose. Okay.
just to have them.
So I think when we turn in for the night, maybe we should sleep in shifts. I don't if she got us while we were sleeping, then maybe it makes sense for somebody to stay up in each room.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
clearly it
agree.
happened in our sleep, though. So how are we supposed to know if the other ones are having an attack in the sleep or not?
I'm not
Well-
sure it'll make a difference, but it couldn't hurt.
I was thinking the same thing as Harry. It couldn't hurt for us to do that. As if we see the other person moving
Moaning,
in an abrupt
groaning.
way, wake them up. I know I'm kind of a dainty sleeper, so if I'm moving and kicking around, that means something's not good.
Okay.
Got a point.
As you guys are you guys are in adjoining rooms. So I don't know if you want to leave the door open between the 2 rooms.
I mean,
was
Harry wouldn't
comfortable.
think anything of it for himself, but if like the impropriety in the 1920s of like having the door open between the rooms, I don't think that Harry would care per se.
I wouldn't.
As long as our hosts aren't likely to wind up walking in and being scandalized, I'm a nurse. I've seen it all. I assume you've seen it all.
Okay. All right. So you keep the door open,
Mm.
and you are so you're going to be sleeping in shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So is it one person awake, and then 2 hours later they wake somebody else up? 2 hours later they wake somebody else up, so everybody gets 6 hours of sleep.
Sure. I think
Yeah.
that
I
probably
was
works.
considering 4 hours,
Keeping 2 people up.
one in each room.
We could do that too. That was my original thought.
Okay. So who is awake for shift 1 and who's awake for shift 2?
I'll do shift 1. So,
Okay.
I'll do shift 1. He's sitting there with a cup of coffee. He's got a cigarette going. He pours a little whiskey into the coffee.
Okay. So I'm going to roll randomly. I am pleased to meet you. Futurama reference. Thank you.
I had a guy that did that at a game store like
Mhm.
20 years ago.
It was funny that it's funny now. Okay,
Yep.
so
Loved it.
those on second shift,
Yep.
you hear an incessant scratching at the door of Millie and Vivian's room.
I'm gonna go over and open it. Because if it's her, there's no point in keeping the door closed. And if it isn't, I want to know who it is.
A large dark shape darts into the room and leaps onto Vivian's bed, and it's the cat.
I go over and scritch the cat behind the ears.
Okay, it leans into your hand, turns in 2 circles, cleans its butt, and then goes to sleep right in the small of Vivian's back.
Doesn't seem to be doing her any harm.
I wake up a little bit and I nuzzle closer to it.
Okay, Vivian, I need you to make a POW check.
Oh fuck. They're fuzzy, isn't it? Zachary, this is all your fault. All right. POW is 75. I am spending 4 luck points.
Can you
If
spend
that's
luck on a POW check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I?
All right,
Yeah.
so you spend 4 luck on a POW check.
Okay. Cool.
What is your POW overall?
75.
Okay.
That's -4 for luck. So
you wake up to see the cat, like the cat's face, literally inches from your own.
I boop its nose.
It starts
Just move.
purring and curls into a ball, like right under the small of your chin. And you hear a voice say, "You're gifted."
I kind of just take a moment breath and go, and I just pet it, I'm not as if my head's going close to it, and I go very quietly, so I don't know if Millie can hear me, and say yes.
Millie, you hear her say yes in her sleep.
I go over and put a hand on her shoulder and sort of try to gently shake her awake.
She says, you hear the voice said, "This isn't your first time to Kingsport, or hers, is it?" And you realize as the cat turns, it's still looking at you. And he says, "You've come at a bad time," and it's the cat.
Why is it bad?
The gateways are closed.
What do you mean the gateways are closed?
The city is under siege.
By whom?
We're not even sure, but the ship won't land. I was hoping that you might be able to tell me what that's all about. You're new here, but you've got the gift.
I don't know anything about this.
You wake up as Millie is shaking you.
You okay? You were talking in your sleep, and you said you don't usually do that.
Is the cat still there?
The cat, yeah, it's curled up by your butt and small of your back.
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's probably a little too much to drink before bed.
Okay.
Okay, you fall back to sleep and nothing else happens the entire evening. And you all wake up to the smell of fresh bread and hot coffee.
Oh, that smells like it's really gonna hit the spot.
Mm.
As you come down, the wife is there, and it's like homemade raisin bread with butter.
Oh wow.
And a pot of very strong coffee, and
Oh wow.
grapefruit halves.
Ooh.
And she says, "I thought I'd just put out something light. I didn't know what kind of day you were having. I can make pancake meal if anybody else wants something heavier."
I'm okay with something light.
Oh no, light is fine.
Harry gets a crestfallen look. He was just about to raise his hand and be
Oh,
like,
no!
"Sure." So he just kind of like shrugs and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is perfect. Thank you."
Okay. So she says, "So, are you out and about today? Have you come to the city on business or just to relax?"
Harry kind of like looks like side eye at the rest of the party and says, "Yeah, we're
Harold comes in and says, "Don't pry, Rose. I'm sure they've got things to do, and it's none of our business." And she says, "I was only asking. I need to know if they'll be here for lunch."
probably not for lunch, but we'll definitely we're gonna be here for a couple of days at least, probably."
She says, "Oh, splendid." She goes, "It gets so tiresome having no one but him to talk to." And he goes, as if, and laughs. And
Maybe we could get a bridge game tonight. Break up the monotony a little bit.
She says, "That would be lovely."
So, the cat, you said it's not a resident of this location, correct? Is he a stray that people around the neighborhood take care of?
I think stray'd be a strong word. I think half the people in Kingsport feed him.
Ah, so he's a community cat.
That's right.
Community cat. Okay.
He's a favorite of all the painters and the artists and the writers. The people who down in the Bohemian Row.
Mm.
Ah, Bohemian Row.
I think he's got 5 different names depending on who you ask. So he's like a big New England Maine Coon that, just
Oh, they're big.
yeah, he's this massive cat. So they say, we leave the, he scratches at the back door whenever he wants to come in.
Oh.
And the wife says, "I've wanted to put in a doggy door, but he won't let me." And she says, "For one, it's a cat. 2, it's not ours. And 3, it's going to let a draft in all year long." And she says, he says, "We could leave the garage open a little bit." He goes, "Yeah, for all the rats, for when he decides to visit, he'll just scratch on the door and we'll open it." They start arguing about it.
Oh no.
And they're like, "He's already gone. He's,
Oh, he left.
Yeah." They said, "I let him out." She goes, "I let him out this morning. He was scratching at the door."
Harry just kind of like lifts the cup and sort of like turns away. Takes a sip.
All right, so what do you guys want to do?
Well, let's see. There's the orphanage and the most hauntedest house, right?
Well, you can't get into the most hauntedest house in Kingsport because it's all locked up, and it's actually an estate, so the gate's locked up before the house is locked up. Vivian and her team needed special permission and they were only allowed in there for about 48 hours.
So that leaves the hospital records.
Is Harold and Rose gone?
No, they're still there. They
Okay.
live here.
Yeah.
I know, but they're not. Are they still eating with us, or if they like wandered?
Well, they're around, so all you'd have to do is call out, and they would be more than happy.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, I can do the dishes with Rose, and what I'm not saying is, and therefore you will know the three of you can talk in private and fill me in later.
Well, I
Easy
think
enough.
so if Viv is saying if they're not sitting at the table, then we can.
I just want to make
openly
sure they're not in
converse.
earshot.
No, they're not within earshot.
Yeah.
So I mentioned, Millie, when you woke me this morning, or insert time frame here, was the cat with me the whole time?
Yeah, the cat was curled up right next to you. He was scratching at the door, so I let him in because I figured wouldn't hurt to have a cat in.
No. Cats are actually a good thing. I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna say this. The cat spoke to me.
Oh, okay. This shouldn't be a relief, and yet.
So I know it's very difficult to, and it knows that I have a gift. And it mentions some alarming things, but I don't know if it relates to what we're doing or what we're currently involved in.
Is the cat on our side? That's really all I need to know at the moment, right?
I didn't
really.
ask him, but honestly, if you
Are
pass
cats
some
really
fruit-
on anyone's side but
No,
their
they're
own?
not. They're really not.
I mean, that's a fair point too.
Well, what does the
I mean,
cat want?
it could have just been something that they were talking through, not necessarily working one way or the other.
Well, what did the cat want? Let's start with that.
Just ask me if I was in charge of. I'm trying to think of the correct verbiage here. So my memory shit. Something about the ship is failing, or
So at a game, he said that the ship. Oh, I wrote it all
Couldn't
down.
land.
Thank
the
you.
ship couldn't land. You've come at a bad time. The gateways are closed. The city's under siege. So if you want to,
Yeah.
All right, roll
Yes.
an INT check.
me?
Yeah.
God, is this like some song that I just don't know? I've spent a lot of luck points. I can't use it on this, so I fail it.
Okay. You don't have that information because she didn't remember it when she woke up. So her fractured recollection is all that you're going to get, but you don't get the exact wordage.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to work with the cat. Really.
God, so they think I'm crazy now. Great. Yay for not taking notes.
I should be more disturbed that we're sitting here at the table and you said that the cat came in and spoke to you.
Yeah.
But after everything that we've seen so far, if the cat's on our side, I guess I'm all in.
Well, let's put it this way: if the cat meant us harm, I think the cat had prime opportunity to harm us.
No, the cat.
A Maine Coon could probably kill a person if they got him in the right angle. These cats
The
are
cat-
massive.
The cat is. We are no threat to the cat, and the cat is no threat to us. The cat just alarmed me that something bad was happening and that we came at a bad time. And
What?
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's about all I remember. So we're going with that.
Hey, I'm happy to do a quid pro quo with the cat.
Okay.
What did the cat say about like scritches? Like, does he like that or not like that? Like, I don't want to offend the cat if I'm patting him on his
The
head.
cat seemed to like scritches.
I just tell them I'm sorry, ignore me. I probably
All right.
have
So
a
what's
wicked
on
hangover.
the agenda outside of the house?
Do we
The
want to
hospital?
split up?
To where? We just have the hospital.
Well,
I mean,
so
seriously.
the adoption
orphanage.
place,
They're-
the
they're-
orphanage,
Oh, right.
The library.
and then
The
the
library.
library to check on.
Remember, you had some other information you were hoping to track down.
The
records
light.
for the polio place.
So property, what does he own?
Right. What does he own?
The orphanage. And then the hospital's closed, right?
Yeah, but we could find records for the hospital, yeah?
Okay, so let's head over to the library. Kingsport Public Library is on 960 Howard Street.
Oh.
I looked it all up. And I'm heartbroken because my Kingsport book has started falling apart.
Oh.
Oh,
And
the
you
news
can't-
has come that Chaosium is going to be transferring everything to 7th edition.
Mine's in bad shape, and they're like, you can't get one for love or money on the internet.
Yeah. Are we all going together? I mean, is there safety in numbers at this point?
Are you at
If
that
shows
part
up?
in the adventure where you?
I feel that after we've had the scuffle with Loretta or Lorette,
Lynette. You're
Lynette,
terrible
thank
at
you.
this, Vivian. This is why you need to start taking notes, Vivian.
Scuffle.
I am taking notes.
Okay.
I promise you.
She's just not good at it.
promise you. I'm going to a speech therapist very soon. I promise. Okay.
Scuffle, you say.
Yes, I think it would be wise for us to stay together.
Okay, so you arrive at the Kingsport Library around 10 a.m. They have full runs of the Kingsport Chronicle. They have some city records. So if you're you can roll some. Everybody roll library use, and I'll tell you some of the things you find.
65, which I think is still a success. Yes.
56 under
Despite-
59,
yeah.
regular.
Despite all my studying and education, I can't use a library.
I'm still caught over the cat and what the cat tried to tell me, and I am stuck on that right now. Just
So Millie and Harry have two both at
Yeah.
the same table, stacks of books and papers and notebooks.
Okay, you spend about 2 hours here looking through stuff. You find the easy stuff you find easily. So Vivian, you find the address for the Hillside Adoption Consortium, which is still in operation. That's on 610 Tuttle. George, you find a story about Melvin, mentioning him as part of the Kingsport Theatrical Society. Those are the easy ones. Millie, you find out that the Johansson and Miles Children's Hospital, which is closed, is technically not in Kingsport proper. It's on Orchard Island out in the bay.
Orchard Island?
Yes, there are several small islands right outside of the Kingsport Harbor.
Hmm.
There is a daily morning and an evening ferry service between Orchard Island and Kingsport. And Harry, you find the address of Madison Walcott, paternal grandfather of Melvin Walcott.
Paternal.
Paternal.
No, I'm just trying to remember. She was not interested in his mother's side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the father's side, we are already... I mean, yes, we're tripping alarms, but if we go to the father's side, we will be tripping louder alarms, is all I'm saying.
Again, I think just with our presence being here, it's pretty
Right.
Oh,
much
I know,
already a
I
done
know.
deal.
I mean, like, we're already at, let's say, on a 1 to 10 scale of 5 on danger. It's just the difference between a 5 and a 7.
So you've got him being a member of the local theater society. You have the address of the adoption agency. You realize that the hospital is on Orchard Island and not in Kingsport proper. And you have the address of his grandfather.
Oh, of course it would be on an island. It's a polio
It's
hospital.
a polio hospital.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. All right. And there's like, the camera pans down and there's just like a pile of cigarettes in the ashtray in the library.
All right. So, is there anywhere you want to go? I think we have time to visit one major location probably before 11. Before we takes down to 11, when I know people are gonna want to start turning in.
Yeah.
So
especially those who work with small children in the morning.
Do we want to? Boy, do we want to go to the polio hospital, catch the ferry, go over to the polio hospital? If it's closed, we can maybe just take a look around and see if anything.
You've missed the morning ferry.
Well, we missed the morning ferry, so let's do one of the other places.
Let's do the orphanage.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you head over to the Hillside Adoption Consortium. You get on the. You navigate your way across town on the trolley, which is working, even though it's icy out, and gray. So you take that over across town and arrive, and in Hilltown, and you find your way to a large old building, the converted home of a wealthy importer, which has been an orphanage in Kingsport for over 50 years. And again, they say there's a sign out front, Hillside Adoption Consortium. The walkway up has been shoveled and salted, and you light coming from the windows, smoke coming from the chimney, and you hear the voices of children reciting the alphabet from a front room.
There are worse sounds one could hear coming from an orphanage.
That's
What do
probably
you want to do?
true. What makes so I'm wondering, like, period wise, what makes the most sense for one of the women to go up in?
Well, what are we saying? Are we saying we want to check the records? Are we?
I mean, probably, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because there's no hip
We're
in
not-
it, right? So like,
Because we're not saying we want to adopt someone, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We're not taking something with us.
so we play the PI card, say we're investigating someone, we're investigating, Melvin Walcott, and we try to get some background information, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think sticking.
Yeah.
with-
I mean, the only person who we really would prefer not know what we were doing already knows what we're doing, so...
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
we go
What
up
do
to
you
the
do?
front. Harry knocks on the door.
Okay. You hear like the singing stop and like the sounds of chairs scraping, and say, "All right, stop! Everybody, calm down." And it says, no funny business. I mean it. And the door opens, and you see a curly-haired ginger kid about 16, and says, "Welcome, welcome. Please come in, come in."
We just want to check
there's like a
some
blast
records.
There's a blast of hot air as he opens the door.
We just want to check some records, I say, as we're going in, so that we don't get anyone's hopes up.
He goes, "All right, okay. Just wait here. I'll be right with you." And he says, "Let me contact let me get the administrator for you." And you look into the room he came in, and there are 6 children, all under 10 there. I think the youngest is about 5, between 5 and 10. And apparently this kid was teaching.
Oh, boy.
And he comes back with a older man in a decent suit, but not ostentatious. And he comes in. He goes, "Visitors, well, welcome. Simon here tells me that you needed some help with records." He goes, "Let me introduce you. I'm Horace Fiegel. I'm the administrator of the Adoption Consortium, and you are?"
Yes, Harry Stanton, a private investigator. We're here to look at some records, if you don't mind.
Um, let let's slow down. Let's get you out of those coats and uh, Simon, please take their coats and hang them to dry by the fire. We'll go into the sitting room and you can tell me what this is all about.
Yes, sure, thank you. He takes off his coat, takes off his hat. I don't. Yeah, outer coat, right? Suit coats
Right,
got that
right.
Yeah,
pistol
yeah.
hidden in
Yeah.
the shoulder holster.
Okay, so he brings you into the sitting room, and and he says, so you're looking to consult our records on what matter?
So
We have
we're investigating a disappearance of a Melvin Walcott. Our understanding is that he was brought here when his mother unfortunately passed.
Melvin's vanished. He's disappeared. I thought he was working in New York quite successfully.
He was. He
on,
was.
on Broadway. He was
Yes.
one of our true success stories. I'm heartbroken.
We're not sure that anything is actually wrong, but he up and left very quickly. He had some very coarse words for a few people, and we're just
She says,
trying to make sure that he's
him.
okay.
It's not like him at all.
It's not, and so we just want to find out if he's okay. The people who the people in New York say that, you know, if something happened, if he just needed a change of scenery, it's okay. They just want us to make sure he's okay.
Okay, a broad-shouldered, middle-aged woman comes in, and she has a tray of shortbread cookies and a pot of coffee and mugs, and she starts pouring for everyone, and to warm them up. He says, "Here, something to warm you up on the cold day." And he says, hold on. He says, "Lois, they're here about Melvin. Something's happened to him." And he goes, "Melvin, the one who drew." And he goes, "Yes, yes." She says, "Oh, I thought he was in New York." And he says, "He is." He says, "Let me." So how can I help you?
Well, I mean, we're just looking to get a better picture of Melvin. Just see what's in the files. See if anything stands out.
There's not much to be recorded on Melvin. He was, so that your files aren't good. There's not much in our files, but I can tell you anything you need to know about him. I was the associate administrator back then when he came.
So, parents died, no other family.
Right. He came to live with us. He was here for 8 years. He arrived when he was 8. He left when he was 16. He had just gotten out of the polio hospital, and he didn't walk very well, and he was very, very depressed. I remember he was kept to himself mostly. Loved to read. He was a bit of a daydreamer when in the classes, and it was always very difficult to get him out of bed in the morning.
Did he make any friends or just solitary career?
As he started learning to walk and get stronger on his feet, he started to slowly make friends. But the real breakthrough came when he discovered art. Dr. Kingsley, a local retired art professor, he would volunteer here teaching art classes, and he really became Melvin's mentor. After that, Melvin really found his feet. He'd fill entire sketchbooks with incredible landscapes and characters and fantastic creatures. The worlds this kid could create from his imagination. It was just astounding.
Do you
have it?
Oh, yeah, there you
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
was
still
just about
have
to
a
say the
couple.
same thing.
And he goes over to pull out a shelf. He says, here are a couple that we've held on to. We're very proud of our local celebrity. He goes, but we would be willing to part with one for a donation to the consortium.
Harry looks sort of unsure, but leans over, grabs his wallet, pulls out I don't know what would be appropriate at the time. Like he pulls out a $5.
$1.
It looks and then adds another $5. Kind of like puts it near the coffee cup, I guess.
Well, remember, it's
Hey, big spender.
It's $15 to 1.
Oh, 15 to 1.
Yeah.
So if you're giving him $5, it's like you're giving him $75.
Yeah.
That
So
seems
you
like a
just
lot,
gave
right?
them $150.
Well, he
That's
is
because
running
he-
an orphanage. It's
Yeah, it's true.
okay. For that generosity, he does allow you to keep one of the 2 books. He
There you
says,
go.
"Here are these 3. Pick it whichever one you like."
Okay, do any of them have a picture of the woman, of cocoons, or of some ship or other? Those are the 3 items I remember.
And cats. We want to look for cats too.
cats.
Maybe, yeah.
Just in case.
Um,
does the
John, are
little
you
cat
playing
come by?
another character with a cat fetish?
Everyone roll Cthulhu Cthulhu Mythos.
Roll
Cthulhu
Cthulhu
Invictus.
Invictus.
My Cthulhu Invictus is very high.
Oh God, yes, it is.
Not even close.
22, but my Mythos is 8.
Okay,
So
it's
no.
got to be higher than 8 at this point, Millie.
So
That's
I
what
have
it says
0.
on my sheet. 8.
All right, we're gonna.
My Innsmouth lore is 35. My Mythos.
That makes more sense, Harry.
No, so the character started 0 unless you're prefacing us with some
Well, I would have started you with 10 points.
10 points. Okay. I got a 19. Should I spend the 9 luck? I'm gonna spend the 9 luck.
Do it.
Yeah,
for
I
it.
think we have
Yes.
to, right?
Yes, do it.
Okay. You see that you see a floating an island floating in the clouds. You see a white ship carrying people, and you see a boy and a woman in a barefoot woman with dark hair and a long dark hair, barefoot, white dress with butterfly wings, fighting against a creature with 4 arms, a giant with 4 arms and a mouth slit down the middle of his head. And you identify that creature as a Gug, and
I dropped the
realize
notebook.
it's
Yeah.
it's a creature from the Dreamlands.
So he's like
And
randomly
the
flipping through.
white ship and the floating cloud island are all actual places that have been written about by dreamers, by people who can project their consciousness into beyond the wall of sleep, if you believe in that sort of thing.
Yeah, so he's like absolutely flipping through, just kind of like scanning for anything that sort of flips out, and it's like a double page, full out drawing, and he just he drops the notebook and it's like, and then he bends down and picks. Yeah, sorry. I think we'll keep this one. It's quite interesting. He's a very good artist.
Yes,
Georgie
we're very
was
proud of
like,
him.
"Are you sure you don't want to keep this one? This is a really nice rabbit."
He's shakes his head.
He says, if he would have gone to anyone for help in Kingsport, it probably would have been Dr. Kingsley. He was like a second father to the boy.
Is Dr. Kingsley still in the area? Do you know?
Yes, he's quite on in years at this point, but he still lives in the city. He's over at 988 on Summit Street in the west side.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yes, we might have to call on him.
He might have called on some of his old friends from the community theater as well, if he was in trouble. That is.
Mm.
Or
Well, what is the doctor's office hours? Because we don't want to bother him after hours, obviously.
oh, he's a PhD in art history, and he doesn't have hours anymore.
Oh,
Does Dr. Kingsley happen to have any family with him?
No, I don't think that he does anymore.
No daughters?
No,
No.
not living in Kingsport anyway.
Mm.
I think that there's a son out west and a few grandchildren, but they don't visit much.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Do you still talk to the doc at all or no?
Oh, we trade Christmas cards, and I try and stop in on his birthday.
Oh, okay.
How sweet.
Talk to David, and see if you can catch him at a good day.
On a good day.
David's his caretaker. As I said,
Ah.
Dr. Kingsley is on in years.
Gotcha.
Talk to him on a good day.
Yeah. We'll try.
You said you still have some theater friends living here?
Oh
Anyone
yes,
come
the
to mind?
Kingsport Theater Group, and give me a second. He was quite close with the director Clara Greenwalt, and his two best friends were Leroy Caffey, Peter Moses. They're stagehands here.
Mm.
They helped him move out when he was 16, and they went to high school with him as well. I really hope he's okay. He's not only, we're quite proud of him. He is one of our patrons. Twice a year, he donates to the consortium.
Mm.
That's nice of him.
So, if anything else, if he should show up or anything comes to mind, is there a number I can reach you? We'd like to help in any way we can.
We're staying at the what was the name?
Why don't you give him your
Harry.
office number?
Do you have your card with you, Harry?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
you give
yeah,
him the
but we're
office
not
in New
there.
York.
Yeah,
Make an IREDIA roll.
I was
Harry.
going to give the number for the boarding house.
Mhm.
yeah,
And I know why they don't want you to do
Oh,
that,
okay. Yeah,
Harry.
yeah,
Have I told you about wine and cheese, sir? Wine and
83.
cheese.
I fail.
Okay. He keeps trying to give the bed and breakfast address. What do you guys want to do?
here's his card. This is really the best number to reach him at.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And when they get outside, they say, "We don't want to paint a target on Harold and Rose."
I was just thinking, though, but I'm not in the office. So if he calls the office,
Oh my God,
then-
was Vivian in that Orient Express adventure?
Yes,
that I
she
wrote?
was.
Where she gave the supervillain the hotel room that you were all staying.
Nah.
Literally.
Yeah,
My-
Vivian's never making that mistake again. Don't
exact
tell anybody
words
where we're
were-
staying.
My exact words were, "But he gave us wine and cheese."
Yeah.
That
Wow.
is the exact reason why
I
I
remember
was
another
comfortable.
player said, so you gave the mad scientist, who
Yep.
was the last person to see the missing guy alive, our address. And Joel said, it seemed like a good idea.
At the time.
Nah.
Yup,
But he gave us
100%.
wine and cheese.
I mean, in Millie's case, it's not that she's afraid that the woman will come after them. She doesn't want the woman coming after this family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
So do we want to pressure? No, I think we can power through and get through the scene with the mentor, and wrap it up there if you guys want.
Well, so do I need to make an idea check to understand that, like, he is potentially a dreamer and that he may have an alternate life in the Dreamlands?
No, you made your Cthulhu roll,
Okay.
and a lot of things have been pointing in that direction. That would also explain about the cat.
Yeah. Like I get it. I didn't know if Harry got it right away, but so when they're walking back outside, he's like, "So, it occurs to me, especially with the cat situation now, and like he flips open the notebook to show the picture. I think that we're dealing with the Dreamlands. This is it's like he points at the gug. He goes, "This is a fucking gug."
Are we gonna have to fight one of those?
No, I don't think so. But it makes sense. You were saying something, Viv, about gates being closed or something about a
Mhm.
ship. That all points to stuff in the Dreamlands. He may have a whole other life in the Dreamlands that he doesn't know anything about. I mean, here she is in the picture. He's known her all this time.
Yeah, he was I think 9 or 10 when he drew that.
I was going to ask the age, yeah. 'Cause
Did
that-
he draw it from memory, or is this a Galatea situation?
No, I think he was there. I mean, if he's, I mean, take a look at this notebook. He said he was a dreamer. He couldn't get up in the morning. I think he's able to, if you put
Oh,
any
boy.
stock in that sort of thing, and I think that we have to do that.
I think we have to.
He's of dual worlds, you may say. Which is why she is so insistent on the fact that he's not from here, because she knows him from a whole
Somewhere
other
else.
life.
Yeah.
But he was actually, though, born here, right?
Well, it's a chicken and egg
he's
thing,
born
right?
here. No, was a child in the polio hospital. He grew up in the orphanage. I mean, there's records that he's been in Kingsport. That he lived in Kingsport until until he's about 19.
But I mean, there's
but
like
I
an
mean, there's-
actual birth record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, it could have been kind of like that reincarnation thing. You know how he could be like an old spirit, like from like a being from the other world, but then like born into this body kind of thing.
Sure, and it could be a Red King situation where, is this the dream or is that the dream? And as far as she's concerned, this is the dream.
Yeah, I mean that's why she probably keeps telling about how this is all a lie and not real and all that kind of stuff. To
None of it
her,
matters.
this is the fake side. It's the dream that matters to her.
Well, what do we
Okay.
do with that information, though? Right? I mean, he may
Well,
not remember, but if that's real,
If you have-
Try not to go crazy thinking about which
Yeah.
reality is the real
Well,
one.
I mean, if anybody has any conversations with cats, maybe fill them in.
oh, that's a good idea. Hey,
I
did you
know
get that cat? Viv,
What?
did he say? Did the cat say what his name was?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, they probably wouldn't tell you their true name anyway.
Do you
No,
want to
but
do
I
we want to do the mentor scene or
I mean, we can.
all right.
It's early for me, so
All right. So you arrive at the home of Dr. Elliot Kingsley,
There, Ken.
988 Summit Street on the west side of Kingsport. It is a single story. It's a lovely single story, single family home, and it has a ramp on the side of the stairs. What do you guys want to do?
I guess we go up, and I'm assuming Peter will answer, and we'll see if the doc's having a good day or not.
All right.
I thought it was
so-
David who was
David,
the aide.
it's
Oh,
David.
David, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, so a young adult man, probably about early 20s, answers the door. He's got curly dark hair, muscular build. He says, "Good afternoon. Can I help you?"
Yes. We were just over at the orphanage, and we were talking to like he pulls out his notebook and he starts looking. Horace. He gave us Dr. Kingsley's name and said that perhaps we should speak to him about a former resident. How is he doing today? Is he feeling okay?
You're the detective. Something about one of his students. They called.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
great.
Yep, I've gotten Dr. Kingsley dressed. He's in the sitting room. I think he's having a good day. So why don't you all come in?
Is there anything that we should know before we go in?
His mind wanders.
Mhm.
If you start asking about the art in the room, that usually brings him around.
Mhm.
If he gets your name wrong, don't correct him. It upsets him.
Gotcha.
I'll be nearby, and when he's run out of steam or if he needs me, I'll come in.
Any other triggers we should be aware of?
Other than the name thing, I think you should be good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I don't know how much he's going to be able to help you. But I know that he's quite fond of all of his former students. So if one of them's in trouble, I know that he'd want to help. Okay, so you go in, and of course, there's a guy who's in his late, early to mid 80s. He's in a wheelchair. He's dressed warmly. He's almost dressed as if he's heading outside, although he's by the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looks up, and he's got a cup of tea, and he says, "Good morning."
Good morning.
It's like
Good
4.
morning.
It's like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
He says,
You know, I work hospital hours. This doesn't even seem strange.
He says, David told me we were having visitors today. And I'm sorry if I don't remember your names. Have we met?
No.
As you go in, you see that the room is just covered with artwork, like multiple levels. There's like oils and watercolors and in different art styles. It's like the room, it's a lot of it's gallery quality. Like you're like looking around like, wow, this, it's almost like a mini museum.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like this vast study, and you realize they've converted the living room into one massive art study for him.
Make a spot to see whether or not anything in the art stands out
Go
Yeah.
for it.
as related to what we've already been investigating. 39 under 65. I'll spend points to make it a hard if we need to.
Okay, hold on.
I might too. I got a 32 over 30, so I'm gonna spend a couple.
Oh, you spend yours then.
29 out of 58,
You
which
see
is a hard.
You see something in Melvin's art style, but it's way more advanced than the stuff in the sketchbook.
Oh my.
And this one's actually signed. It's a painting.
Oh my.
It's a painting of a castle, actually.
Oh.
A castle on a hill overlooking a river, with a field of flowers with butterflies.
Oh
I don't know
my.
the art style, but it's the art style made of dots.
Oh, impressionism.
Right.
Pointillism.
Pointillism? Pointillism.
And so, yeah.
Is
Oh
it an
my.
individual piece or is it part of a larger work where that sort of like fits together with other stuff that surrounds it, or is it all individual?
It's basically, he's got it grouped by style and color. But this is the only piece of Marvin's in the room. He has like pieces from famous artists, from former students, things that he himself has done. It's almost like his memory room.
Sure. Okay. I just want to make sure we weren't missing like an overarching, like if you stand back, the whole wall shows a scene.
Right.
Of,
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Oh my, this is one of his, isn't it?
He says, yes, one of my students did that. A brilliant boy. Wonderful. He's working on Broadway now. He paints backdrops.
Oh my.
Yes.
One of my brightest students. I'm very proud. Such a sad life. And he was so withdrawn. And it just shows you how art can really change your life. And that boy, Melvin, he just came alive when he started drawing. He'd never been praised for anything before. And it was like rain finding the desert. And everything just came to life in him.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I told him that he could make his whole life anything he wanted through his art, and that he was good enough to become a professional artist if he dedicated himself to it, if he put in the time and the work. But I told him he had to stop daydreaming and get serious about his future.
What did he
Um,
daydream about?
Everything. He would just wander. And I remember I read him a verse from Corinthians, and he cried. And that was the turning point. Corinthians 1:13.
Yes.
He says, after a year or two of my instruction, he was really mastering several styles. He was making friends. He was going out. He enrolled in high school because he heard that they had a theater and art department. Of all of my students, I'm the most proud of him.
Oh my.
And then he says, I'm sorry, have we met?
No.
No, we haven't. We're here about Melvin.
Melvin. He was a student of mine, I think. Yes, he painted. He's on Broadway now.
Yes.
Yes, he was. He's taking a little vacation. We're just we're looking out for him, trying to see how he's doing.
Oh, he's doing well. I hear he's painting backdrops on Broadway now.
Yes.
And at this point, you see David kind of start to lurk,
Mm.
and he's like,
I give David the I get it nod and start sort of gesturing to everyone.
and he says,
I really appreciate the style that you got in a lot of these paintings. What was David's preferred technique?
No, Melvin's.
Melvin's, yeah.
and he starts to talk, and then he just goes completely off topic.
Mm.
And David's like, okay, Dr. Kingsley, I don't think that we can keep these people any longer. They have dinner appointments, and we've got to get you all sorted out for dinner. We're having one of your favorites tonight. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry if I was keeping you. I do tend to ramble, so please forgive me.
No, it's okay.
It's all right. It was lovely meeting you, sir.
Okay. And he says,
Pleasure was all ours.
and then he says, all right, I'm going to show these fine people out. I'll be right back, Dr. Kingsley. And he comes over and he says, thank you. This is the most animated I've seen him, the most focused I've seen him all month.
Oh my.
All month.
He doesn't have as many good days as he used to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's had a good long life. He says, neither one of my grandparents got to his age, so any day's a good day.
That's true.
Anything recent happened that could have possibly made his good days less and less?
Talking about his students. There really is pride and joy. I really hope that you find the one that might be in trouble that's missing.
Well, as we've said, we just want to know what happened. It may be something good. We just don't know. That's all.
Well, he'll be on my prayers then.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
If anyone makes an idea roll, you'll know what 1 Corinthians 13 is.
I'm pretty sure I know without the idea roll.
Yes.
Nope.
I think it's a regular success.
I mean,
Yeah.
you put it in the title, didn't you?
Yes. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Oh.
So, not to blame the doc at all, but if the doc is the one that, pushed him more towards the career, he's sort of the crux of letting go of what he may have had in the Dreamlands. Then he said he cried when he read it to him, and he kind of set off on that path.
The
Yeah.
question is, if he could truly choose, which way would he go? Because I don't think either side believes the other one is real, you know?
It's just maybe that he forgot.
Mm.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
Well, the question then becomes, who are we to decide for him? I mean, we're getting paid and all, and that's nice. I could always use the extra cash, but
It's not who are we to decide for him, it's what else is going on here. The cat seemed to indicate Kingsport is in trouble because of this.
Mm.
If this is just a case of him coming back to what he feels his true home is, then no, we have no say in this. But if this is something bigger, whether she means it to be or not, then it may be different.
I mean, it could also be too that he's not the problem. Like, it could be his lady friend bringing all the ruckus to Kingstown as well.
Although why
know,
now?
so-
well, I don't know. Maybe it was the relationship with Alice that
I'm
changed
wondering.
things,
The engagement.
I'm wondering if that's it.
or maybe he remembered something. You know, working on Broadway. Maybe one of the sets he painted. Maybe something triggered a memory that.
Or maybe
allowed
she's
her
been
back
trying
in?
to work to bring him back ever since. Remember, she said she'd worked too hard for this.
Right.
It could be.
Mm.
And maybe it could maybe it could have to do well, actually, all right. Do we remember, or did Vivian remember about like the ships and stuff? Do we know about that?
No,
No,
okay.
couldn't remember the
unfortunately.
Yeah.
details of the dream.
That's right.
Also, that woman's
sorry.
acting for somebody else. She said her masters want him back. Or rather, her
Yeah,
masters
true.
want
Yeah.
him protected. Want him protected.
We don't know
Yeah.
who the masters are, and she wouldn't specify because I specifically asked.
Maybe they have Kingsport locked down to be able to bring him back.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about these
Millie,
dreamlands.
make your idea roll.
Okay, because Millie doesn't know anything about the dreamlands, but I rolled an 11 for my idea roll.
Nice.
She never said her masters. She said my master. My master is safer with me than anyone else. I've come to bring my master home.
Oh, because I thought she had said that she was charged with doing this.
She says, I am the High Lady of Johannesland on a quest to bring my king home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, whoever's taking notes, put this in it.
So, fuck, right? I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully the cat comes back tonight and we can ask him some questions.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess the party would stop here. It's been a long
Yeah.
afternoon. You've visited the library, then the consortium, then the mentor.
Yep.
So you have a line on several other places you could get information.
I mean, we know about 80% of the shape of it,
Mm.
and most of it boils down to we're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Well, so
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure if we hopped on the bus and left, she wouldn't chase us, but
right. So back into character real quick. He goes, if we
You
talked
okay?
to some of those artsy types, they might also be drawn into this whole dreamland stuff. That maybe one of them could, they might be able to help us out. Maybe. You think?
maybe.
I was thinking the same thing as you, Harry. If the cat was drawn to me, and the cat tends to be part of this community as well, there may be others that know more.
Well, if the cat was drawn to you too, is this something that you can do? Have you ever been cross? No,
Not with cats.
Okay.
Not with animals.
It
Spirits, maybe.
could be too that maybe some of the artsy guys have a little material that could assist in crossing over to maybe a more dreamlike state, if you know what I'm getting at there.
I mean, I
All
don't
right,
know that we
so
necessarily
you-
want to do that.
It seems the focus is going to be like maybe we need to learn a little bit more about being a dreamer and the dreamlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think this is a good spot to break. We'll say that you're on the trolley heading back towards the bed and breakfast of your friend Harold. And
The trolley.
yeah, the Kingsport trolley.
Yeah.
The mist has rolled in. The night is cold and dark. And you get there to, the smell of roasted chicken.
Is there a cat waiting?
We'll get to that next week. Well, in 2 weeks or wherever we meet, whenever on the next session.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow,
I'm
meow,
really
meow, meow,
held
meow,
back
meow.
on all the cat jokes. I've been very professional right now. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Cool.
Okay, and for the record, the cat was something I came up with at that moment.
Nice.
So it is all Zachary's fault.
I always planned to have a cat involved at some point. It seemed like a good time.
There you go.
Because you're not writing. Well, I'm not writing something involving Kingsport and the King and the Dreamlands without having a cat character in it.
Makes
I mean,
sense.
it's practically required, right?
Well, yep, I did it last time, and I'm doing it again. Literally, when we rewrote Christmas in Kingsport, one of the major additions was a cat character.
Cats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, makes sense.
All right, so take it away.
All
Wrap
right.
it up.
Well, we want to thank everybody for checking this out. If you want to throw a couple of bucks our way, we have a Patreon up. If you enjoy the games that Oscar's running for us, head over to Golden Goblin Press. There's a tip jar over there too. We would prefer that you probably do that instead. We have coffee for sale. It's a nice, easy drinking medium roast. It's the legendary brew. A little bit of the cash comes back to the show, helps, pay the bills. If you use the code LEGENDS10, you're going to get 10% off your order, and shipping is always free. There's also, and that code works with the other brews over at Birds of a Feather Coffee Company. They will honor that on the Night Owl Blend, the Hummingbird, and the Morning Lark, which are all fantastic brews. They're made fresh to order. It's not sitting in a bin somewhere, so you put an order in, it'll get roasted and shipped out fresh as could be. What else? Ratings and reviews on iTunes, whatever your podcatcher of choice is super helpful for us. Bumps us up in the algorithms. Cthulhu is done. It's published. It's out on drive-thru. You could check that out. Lots of downloads. I don't know. Self-congratulatory pat on the back, I guess. I don't know. But it's out there in the wild, so please check that out as well. Support Todd and the stuff that he does, which is the thing. You get it. You listen to the show. It's fine. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here.
Peace.
Bye.